Welcome to X2 Academy panel discussion on academic excellence with Dr. Michael Okoro and Chima Roberts and Engineer Andrew Okoro. These are very excellent scholars who have come to grace this panel discussion with their wealth of experience. So I hope you will be able to glean from their experience and take advantage of what they have to tell us today to advance yourself in your academic journey. It is the desire of every student, both the undergraduate or postgraduate, to have excellent records. With these three men who have come to grace this panel discussion, I hope that will become your story when you glean from what they have to tell us today. So you're welcome, Dr. Michael Okoro. Can you say hi to us?
Hi.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
All right, you're welcome to this panel discussion. Another discussant is Chima Roberts. Please, Chima, can you say hi to us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Okay, so another person is Engineer Andrew Okoro. Andrew, can you say hi to the panel and every one of us here?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, you're welcome. So this discussion is brought to us, as we already know, by X2 Academy. And let's go into the business of the day straight ahead. So we're going to the first question. As we already know, the question will appear on the screen and Chima Roberts will take it from there. So go ahead, Chima.
Okay, so I'm being asked to tell us about my academic journey to academic excellence. So pretty much the whole idea is this. So from secondary school to university. So basically, I came to the university. I'll just bridge it. So prior to university education, I tried to make sure I worked hard in secondary school, passing out with the best grade possible. It might not be like the best you can put in, but for some reason you just try your best to get into the university. So I think at the first year during the WAEC year, I couldn't get admission into the uni like most people in Nigerian secondary schools or graduates from secondary school. But the next year I tried writing JAMB and WAEC, so I got into a university, which is a state university, and it started off with making sure I chose the right course of study, which I was passionate about, which was chemistry. So I got admission into industrial chemistry at the point. So when I came to university, the first thing I made sure was to go through like the notice board or the exam result for the previous year. And I saw some result and I made a decision that I was hoping to pass with a first class. So I think that was the first start of it, making a conscious effort to know what grade or what degree I wanted to graduate with. And with that, having a goal ahead, in mind, I now had to make plans to achieving those goals. So for me, the whole journey was based on a good crop of mentorship. So I had people from the previous years trying to give me notes and trying to give me lessons and all that to help me out. But I think mentorship was key for me through my academic journey to excellence. And also, I think I had the best teachers, which also helped me a lot. For me, with the teachers, I had to like read up extra course materials so I could answer right. But at the end of the day, it may not be entirely what you require, because some of the things we study in Nigerian universities are quite outdated or not applicable in the real life world. So you have to make a conscious effort by yourself to study extra and study harder than the rest of the class to achieve academic excellence. And for the university system, I believe you're not in competition with anyone, just like the secondary school system where there's positions and all that. But for the university system, you have 70 as your A grade. So for someone who has 91 and someone who has 70, they have the same grade. So the thing is to try as much as you can to be the best version of yourself, to make the A grade whatsoever. So making 70 for every grade you have, you tend to graduate with a first class and all that. I think that's what helped me with the conscious effort that for every course I take, I should make a 70 or so. But maybe other things came into play with the right crop of people, right? The right friends, the right teachers and all that. But at the end of the day, it was more of me making a conscious effort to say at the end of every course, I should arrive at 70 or anything more than 70. So that was how my journey to academic excellence set up.
Okay, that's a very insightful word from you. So we'll get right to Dr. Michael Okoro. Please, what do you have to say about this question?
All right. Concerning me, my own journey has been one that has been built on first desire, determination, consistency, and having the right, most importantly, having the right people around me. Well, of course, I grew up in a slum, one of the rough areas in the east of Nigeria, but I was opportune to have parents that are relatively enlightened academically. So just seeing them at that point, they were my own role models. I wanted to be like my dad. At the point, I thought he was actually a doctor, but he is a laboratory technician. So all along, the course I knew was medicine. So I just wanted to be like him. He was my own hero then. All right. Then, because I found myself in the wrong environment per se, I had to look out for some kids. They were like me also that break out from such environment. So we put our heads together. We started rubbing minds together. It was difficult initially because trying to make out the environment, you get discouraged and other things. And then we set off from WAEC. Of course, it was easier for us because most of us, we ended up in boarding schools. So when we came back, we just had to stay indoors and study. But even at school, like I said, I always have to find the right people amongst me because each time I enter an environment, I ensure I find like minds around me. So secondary school was okay. We put through with several A's and B's in WAEC. And then in 2008, I wrote JAM. Well, my score wasn't really that good. I can't really say why, but I did my best though. So I couldn't get admission at that year to study medicine, which I've always hoped to study. At a point, I got an offer to study mathematics in one of the universities, which I declined. It wasn't easy. I got depressed, everything. But I was encouraged, my parents, my siblings, and of course, my peers. It wasn't really easy though. The next year, as God may have it, I got in. And because of the effort I have put in, because I had always believed this was the only chance I had to get in. So it made me double my effort. Just like I said, I was determined and of course I was consistent. But as good enough, I got admission and I was actually the number one on that admission list that year. After crying the last year, of course, the next year I got into Abia State University where I studied medicine. And because the study pattern and everything had become a lifestyle, I graduated from the top of my class. I was the best graduating medical doctor of 2008 set. So it wasn't really easy, but what has always helped me is the desire, the consistency, determination, and also, most importantly, having the right people among me. All right, so that has always helped me, and even till now, those people, I can tell you, they have evidently excelled academically in different parts of the world, and I'm so proud to be identified with them. So that has been my journey so far.
Okay, that's great too. Engineer Andrew, can you tell us about your journey to academic excellence? Let the world know how you made the first class you had in your school.
Okay, mine has been a straightforward journey too, just like Robert said. But let me start from my university days when I got into photo. It was a period of time when it was believed that people don't easily graduate with a first class. So I had this very intelligent friend of mine. I actually met him from my brother on arrival at school. I noticed how, okay, they told me how hardworking the guy is. He works very hard, he studies, and at the time, it was believed that he was a genius. He was a genius, actually, and he's a genius. So when he told me his story of how he tried, studied his books from cover to cover, did everything required, did his assignments, and he ended up with um, a 4.2 for that semester, I was discouraged. I was discouraged. So when my own journey started, I tried to follow him. I tried to model his excellence because at 4.2, he was still top of his class, but it wasn't the first class. So I did everything possible, read my books, go to classes, but I had this chip on my shoulder that it wasn't going to be easy. So I was comfortable with making a 2-1 as at then. But unfortunately or fortunately, when our results came out, I was surprised at what I saw. I got a 4.54, and that was my lowest ever grade in school for a semester, 4.54. And but it did change my whole idea about schooling, about education in general. So it brings me to my first point here, believing. So I feel is a function of your mindset. So what you start believing is likely going to play out. In my case, I was going to use the word lucky. That okay, when I did everything possible, I found myself with a 4.54, which is just at the brink of a first class. But the subsequent semesters, I entered it knowing that I am not getting anything less than a 4.5. Sometimes I'm not entering this semester with a mindset of getting a B. So it was all A in mind, all A in view, and it really helped me through my journey. The 4.54 I made in my first year, first semester was the least, and it kept on getting better and better. Thank you.
Yeah, this has been an amazing story of three excellent academicians, scholars for excellence. So they've told us about how their journey from their undergrad to those points. So we need to go to the next question and see what we have to say about it. So Engineer Andrew, can you respond to this second question on the screen?
Okay, the question is, what has helped me get to where I am? Okay. What has actually helped me is I have this mindset that I want to stand out in whatever I do. I want to stand out. So I see a lot of persons that want to set off in similar direction, but because of past record, maybe you've looked at your performance in your year 1, year 2, year 3, or for those studying 5 years and you become discouraged. No, I encourage people to always strive to be the best because there is this thing I believe that first class or excellence is who you are and not what your result tells you. So it's possible that you want to be the best in what you are doing, even if the result is not reflecting it, but always try to stand out. That has been my motivating factor. Even when things seems to be going the wrong direction, I just know that I have to do my best, put in my effort, and with time the result will show. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your answer. Chima, can you respond to this question as it goes?
So for me, I think just as I pointed earlier, mentorship has been key for me. So it's like, so when I got into first year, I had people in second year talking to me about first year. So they gave me a direction, even if they were not doing the best they could at the point. But just by me talking to them, I found a decent direction to take and how to go about it and do the right thing for my first year. After that, when they got to third year and I was in second year, I got notes from them, like the lecture notes and all that. So I had an idea of what to expect in my second year. Similar thing happened in third year and final year. So the right mentorship was key for me. Upon graduation from undergrad, I had someone who was a master's student in the UK at the time, helping me out with scholarship advice and all that to secure a scholarship to the UK and all that, because I already had a decent result from my undergrad. So he believed I could get into any university I wanted to. Upon graduation from my master's, I had a distinction. So I had him as well. At that point, he has already graduated from his PhD, and he directed me enough to get PhD scholarship. So for me, throughout my journey, it's been having the right mentors pointing me in the direction I'm meant to take. So yeah, when they do that, I have to do the hard work. But if I didn't have them around, I wouldn't have an idea of the opportunities out there for me to take. So I think, amongst other things, mentorship has been key for me.
Important thing that Chima has told us here is that mentorship is key to wherever you want to get to. You want to have a first class, please look at someone who had a first class and follow through. Remember, he said the hard work is for you, but the direction could come from your mentor. Michael, please can you let us know, apart from having parents who you say to have been enlightened academically, are there other things that helped you to get to where you are, and what advice will you have for others who want to go in the same direction?
Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, having the right people among you, just like I said, and when I said that, I mean at every level, both your level and those above you, just similar to what Chima said. You know, some people get into school and they think it's all about working hard. Yes, hard work is good, but you have to effectively work hard. That's that's one thing. Because I had a senior colleague then in my first year. It was actually a female. She told me how easy it was to make better grades. So when you have people that have gone ahead, they have a way of directing you. But yes, you also have to have those that are in the same level that you are, because you know the ginger, the spore, and everything. You guys go to class together, but you still need extra direction from those that have gone ahead. So apart from yes, having parents, and very important for me was also having the right people at every particular point in time at different levels through my academic journey.
Okay, that's awesome too. Having the right people to point you to the right direction and making the accurate A's with the right courses has helped him so far. Also remember that engineer Andrew told us that academic excellence or a first class is who you are. It's not about what is on your certificate. So you translate what you are already to what your certificate becomes. So we'll go to the next question, and that's question 3. So Chima, can you start up with this question and take us through that?
So it says, what are the common misconceptions with first class and coming top in your class? So the thing is, it's quite funny. Once you graduate with a first class, people think you don't have a problem with in the world. That you go out there and you get job easily more than any other person and all that. But at the end of the day, first class is just a certificate. It doesn't translate basically to a job as people think it. So I graduated with a first class. In fact, I graduated with the best result in the university at the time, because I was the best graduating student at the convocation. The governor or the governor elect at the time was there, but I wasn't offered any employment. I couldn't get a job into the university. I couldn't get a scholarship through the government and all that. So when you graduate with a first class, most people think your problems are solved in the world, but that's not it. Because at the end of the day, you still have to apply for stuff. You still have to make the right decisions and all that. You still have to go for things. Nothing will be handed to you if you don't go for it. So graduating with a first class doesn't mean or guarantee you good jobs and all that. What it allows you, it makes you presentable to people, because when you talk to people and say I have a first class, they can easily listen to you because they think you're hardworking and they think you are smart enough. But that doesn't mean that you have everything you want in life. So when I saw that the government scholarship and the job opportunities weren't coming forward, I had to apply for a Commonwealth scholarship and I got that easily. So the thing with first class is this: in as much as you're trying to make the best grades and all that, you should also try and build yourself, your skill set and every other thing to make you presentable, network with the right people. Just as I mentioned earlier, mentorship is key. So my mentor knew that before me. So even with a first class, I'm not guaranteed anything. So he helped me, point me in the right directions to apply for some stuff that helped me out. So in as much as you are aiming to graduate with a first class, also try as much as you can to build yourself, your leadership, your network, and all the inner circles for yourself, so that even if your grades doesn't help out to project you forward, the other skills you've had over time will kind of make you presentable. And with your first class, I think people will listen to you the more. That's pretty much what I have to say.
Okay, that's cool enough. Having a first class does not translate to having everything in the world. You still have to work out every other thing, build yourself, like he rightly said. Engineer Andrew, can you talk more on this?
Okay. What Chima said, what he said is actually one of the points I wanted to raise. It's not actually an automatic ticket to employment, and it's not a ticket to anything. It just makes you more. It just makes you able to access more opportunities. That's what I have to say about that. And secondly, one thing I would like to say about having a first class is that it's not always the smartest person that makes the first class. Maybe in a class of 50, the person on top is not actually the smartest person or the most intelligent person. That's a common misconception people do have. Okay, because I'm smart, I came out top in my secondary school, I'm intelligent, therefore I'm going to come out top of my class. I have friends like that too, that in our school years, they were very, very intelligent, but it was not reflecting in their results. So having a first class, it encompasses a lot of things, which if you put them together, you'll be able to come out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Mike, can you say anything about this?
Yes, let me retrace what Chima said earlier. Having the first class or being the best graduate is not the ticket to employment or anything. Of course, I was the best graduate, but I know how I still went out looking for internship when I graduated. I wasn't given any. I still had to go write exams and search for internship. But one good thing we must always know, just like Andrew said, first class is just on the paper, but you are the first class. You get, if you have a first class, then you should be able to deliver anytime. What the first class does is just like an ID. It gives you the opportunity to be heard. So once people see, yes, you have a first class, they want to hear you. And trust me, if you come out and you don't prove what is on that paper, nobody listens to you. But once you are giving the audience and you are able to show that, yes, I am the first class, it's the thing on the paper shouldn't be different from you. You are the first class. The paper is just like an ID. And so the good thing is, yes, it may not be a ticket to job or some opportunity, but it's a very good platform. It gives you the opportunity to be heard. So people think once you have a first class and that's it. No, it's not like that. definitely not like that. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, from what all we have said, I think we have a consensus about the misconception about first class, and we've told our audience what really needs to be done. You need to go beyond having a first class and see yourself as the first class by arming yourself with the necessary skill sets relevant for the realities of life. We'll go to the next question, and that's the question 4. I think Dr. Michael should take it first.
Okay, the question says if I remember anything differently. Well, definitely, I regret spending all my time studying without having effective interaction with, because there were times in school that I was eligible to some things, but because I didn't interact with some certain persons, I never knew I was. Okay, take for instance, after my WAEC, I had a wonderful WAEC result. I never knew I could apply for some international undergraduate scholarship, which I know I probably would have gotten very easily. But because I was more of the studious type, I just study the book. So I didn't really interact well with people, some certain set of persons. So if I'm to go back, trust me, I definitely will do that differently. Yes, while I study, I'll still have try to have the bigger picture. I'll try to see the end from the beginning, even while I study and where I want to be later. But at that point, I just took the journey exam by exam, day by day. So I didn't interact effectively with those I should. And that's one of the things I regret. I found out that late, and I'm definitely working on that. So that's one of my a specific experience I actually wish I had done differently back then in school.
In other words, what he's saying is that you need to be an all-rounder when you are in the university. Don't be a triangular student, only concentrating on your books. Try to network and interact with other people. Opportunities may also spring up from those other avenues. Chima, what do you have to say about this?
I think it's pretty much in the same direction as Michael. Uh, I think when I went to university, I was really shy person. I really didn't talk much to people. I think Dr. Prince will, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I wasn't really the outspoken type, so I just kept to myself and all that until I started integrating with a Christian organization. Then I started becoming more social and all that. So if I could go back and change something different, I would try as much as I can to be social enough to interact with people because it equips you with tools for life. In as much as you're trying to go through academics, you're also trying to go through life. And some of the skills you need for life are not actually being taught in the university, in the classroom as per se. And you need some of those things and you can acquire them outside the classroom by interacting with people and engaging them constructively about life, about politics, and about different things whatsoever. And those things are not taught in the classroom. So if I could change anything, it would be trying to integrate with the society around me and getting more social skills and all, because it equips you with life leadership and every other thing you can think about. So that's one thing I would change. And I think it is quite unique to first class student or top students because they confine themselves into a certain box and they don't want to leave that box. So if I could change anything, it would be to move away from the box and integrate to the entire society. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's a profound statement, to move away from the box of concentrating only on your studies. Move away from that. Network, network, and network. Therein lies a lot of opportunities. So, Andrew, do you have any more thing to say about this?
Well, they've said almost everything, but I will have to add this. I was a good procrastinator in school. I had a lot of things I knew I would have achieved in school. But because I was shifting it, I would do it later, I would do it next semester, I would do it next year. Before I knew it, the time was no longer there. So there were specific instances like uh, I wanted to go for a position in my department, but I kept on procrastinating because of certain things which I don't know. I kept on procrastinating till it was late. And when I finally showed up, that was in our final year. I I came I came out for what's it called? ISEC president. That's the student body that coordinates election, the chairman. And everybody in my class, they were pretty surprised because they didn't know I had ambitions to be even a course rep because of the way I was doing. Well, I vied for the position and I lost, but I was encouraged. I was proud that I took that particular step. And secondly, let me digress a little. We had this course, Engine 21424, Introduction to Computer Programming and stuff. So at the beginning of the semester, I was supposed to start learning programming, but I kept on giving myself excuses that I don't have a laptop, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I was not communicating with people. What happened is that the course had two assessments. The first one was on Java, the second one was on C++. During the assessment, I came empty because I already knew that we pair. They pair maybe three persons pair to one laptop, and whatever result you get is for three of you. To cut the story short, I ended up with a 7/10, 7/20 for the first one, and 10/20 for the second one. That was completely what my partner got. So it was really bad. It shook me because I was procrastinating. I was avoiding responsibilities. And when our result finally came out at the end of the semester, I got a B in that course because after the assessment scores, I had to go back and I discovered that there was an IDE that could work on phones. So I used my phone to learn what I would have done earlier if I was open-minded and if I wasn't procrastinating. So that was a bad experience for me. So if I could go back now, I know that Engine 214 is going to be an A because I will prepare from time and do all the things necessary. Thank you.
All right, procrastination is something that Andrew wouldn't want to go back to. He would have taken the bull by the horn. So listeners, just know it that it's not the very best thing to do to procrastinate because you just pile up your work for the next day. And at the end of the whole thing, you would have built a mountain of responsibilities that you will not be able to handle at that point in time. So we'll rush to the next question as we wrap up this program. So Chima, can you handle this question while we go on?
Have you personally benefited from making a first class? Of course, I have. So, or wherever you go and you tell people, "Oh, I have a first class," they are pretty much bound to listen to you. So, um, usually when people or when institutions advertise for scholarships or job opportunities, they always set a grade limit or academic requirements. So, with a first class, you stand a good chance to have to be eligible to apply for a job or a scholarship because one of the requirements is usually you should have 2-1 or above, or some are limited to first class. So for a job requirement that indicates eligibility as only first class, with your first class you can apply. That's one. Also with scholarships like Commonwealth, Chevron, and the rest of them, uh, one of the criteria are usually academic excellence or research potentials and all that. So with your first class, you are in that bracket, so you are eligible. So people think about you first before thinking about the other people because you meet that requirement. So having graduated with first class, I think it has put me in a good position to apply for some things. But that's not just the limit, because once you apply, you need to do other things. Some other requirements are different. Or once you get in, say if you have a first class in your undergrad and you get a scholarship for masters, you're meant to continue in the same thing. So you need a distinction or a first class and masters. Then if you want a PhD, you apply with that. So there should be some level of consistency as you go from one level to another, and people need to actually know that the first one wasn't just luck or a force. So I think I benefited quite well with having a first class.
Okay, good to hear from you, Chima. Andrew, what do you have to say about this? Have you benefited from making a first class?
Yeah, I've benefited a lot from making a first class. So personally, okay, let me start from here. The current job I'm working on, I got it because I made the first class. How did it come about? The company went to my school directly and asked for the best students. And luckily, I was okay. It was from my set, and three of us were invited for interview, which two of us got in. The third person that didn't get in was because he already had somewhere he works. So for someone like me, if I didn't make it first class, I don't think that I will ever get this opportunity. So it's actually a stepping stone to success. It's a stepping stone. It gives you an edge to compete with people at a higher platform. So from there, you can access great opportunities for yourself. So just like me, there are a lot of persons that would want to get this opportunity, but because they don't have the required results, they won't even get to hear of the opportunity. So that's what first class do for you. It's just like it gives you the courage to knock on doors. And when the door is opened, it's up to you to show that you can live up to what you have in your paper. So that's it.
Okay, that's good too. Michael, what would be your own statement about graduating as the best student in your set?
Similar to what they said, yes, it gives you opportunity, just a platform for you to be heard easily. Because nowadays it's difficult. Take for instance for me to apply for a job and not be called for the interview. But I know some people will still apply for the same job and they still even won't be called. But now it gives you the opportunity to be heard at least. Of course, when you get there, you still have to show that you are what is on the paper. That's one. That's with regards to job. Then it also gives you the eligibility for so many global scholarship opportunities. So that's another aspect that can be very interesting. You know, even though in this part of the world, particularly in Nigeria, where yes, academic excellence is still not much appreciated, you still find out that you being a first class graduate or gives you opportunities, global opportunities to still go ahead and pursue some other academic endeavors.
Okay, thank you very much. What will be your final statement to us and to our listener, Chima? What will you tell our audience?
So my final statement will be: it's pretty easy. If you want it, you can actually have it. Making first class, graduating best, and all that, it's not so difficult. So, but you need to know that you want it. So, usually success is more of a conscious effort. For everyone I've known who is successful, they made a conscious effort. So it doesn't come by luck. So you have to actually make a conscious effort, and that would be applicable in your daily lives, in your monthly routines, and all that. So once you make a conscious effort, and say, this is what I want. At the end of the day, you need to put in like daily efforts to do that. But the first is to make a conscious decision and say, oh, this is it. I remember walking into the university. I think in the first week of my stay in the university, I was like, oh, this is what I wanted, and this is how I will get it. So I went about it the right way. So you actually have to make that conscious effort, then go about it the right way. Once you do, I think everything will fall into place. Even if you don't, it doesn't. Some things could happen at the end of the day and it wouldn't work out. You know that you tried your best and you can pick up the rest of your life and move on from there.
Okay, thank you very much. Michael, what do you have to tell us before we part?
Okay, I will just add, in as much as you strive to make a first class, you should always know that first class is on paper. You are the first class, because at every point in time, you must prove what is on paper. And once you embark on this journey to make a first class, know that it is a continuous thing, because at every point, you must prove that yes, you are the first class. It's not just about preparing for exams, writing the exams, and then making good grades. It goes beyond that. It's a continuous thing. It's a lifetime thing. It's a lifetime journey. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. Michael. Andrew, can you say your final words to us?
Okay, for the benefit of those that are not in their first year or second year, where they have this opportunity to pursue this first class, like some of them, you can look at them and you see frustration. They have given up on their academics. So I would like to encourage all of us or everybody listening that, like I said before, making a first class is who you are. Excellence is who you are. So despite the nature of your current status now, you can strive to become the best of what you can become academically. Even if you are on a 0.00, you can actually turn it around and get something meaningful that somebody will look at you and be like, okay, this guy was performing poorly at this particular point, and now look at how he has turned things around, showing improvement. So for everybody listening, no matter your current status, whether you're already a first class or your result is bad or you've given up. So this is not a time to give up. You have to fight to finish so that you can be proud of whatever you come out with. You know that, okay, this is my best. And your best will always open doors for you. I believe that your best will always open doors for you. Thank you.
All right, that has been a wonderful section with those erudite scholars, Chima, Andrew, and Michael. Just to wrap up what they told us, first class is who you are, and you don't have to back out. Even if you're at your final year now and your result has not been what it ought to be, but it ought to be, but you could still make an improvement. So Chima told us in conclusion that if you aim for the sun and you don't hit it, you might get to the moon. So it's pretty good that we've heard from these academic scholars, and we hope that you will be the next person that will be hosted as per subject matter experts who will tell us about how you made it, maybe through this panel discussion or through any other means. Thank you very much. This panel discussion was brought to you, like I said earlier, by X2 Academy, and I'm Dr. Carlo Udu. Thank you very much and see you next time.